does your front rack position maybe look like this? Or this? Today we are going to help you, whether it's with cleaning or front squatting, I'm going to help you improve your front rack position. So guys, when you are thinking about the front rack position, there is a couple of main muscle groups that we need to be targeting. A lot of the time, everyone's starting to feel pressure in their forearms, in the wrists, into their elbow. That's not necessarily the muscles that are actually limiting this movement. The main movements that we do in this front rack position is shoulder flexion, so we're flexing the arm up, we're externally rotating the arm to grab the bar, and we're getting elbow flexion and wrist flexion there as well. And the majority of the issue that people have is they can't get their elbows high enough. So they might sit with the bar down here, or even I've seen some people doing it right down to here. We want to get them elbows up nice and high so that we can keep our thoracic extension throughout the squat, keeping ourselves nice and balanced there. So the main muscle group that you want to be thinking about is your lats. So your lats, a big muscle from attaching right down here on the back, coming all the way up to the inside of the arm. Their job is to adduct the shoulders, so bring them back into the body, and internally rotate the arm. And that is what the lats do. So obviously we want to be in opposite when we're coming into our front rack position. You want to test them and see if that is going to be potentially an issue for you. So how we're going to do this is you're going to grab a PVC pipe or a light bar like this, and we're going to come up to a wall, sit up nice and straight to the wall. You can have a little bit of a bend in your knees if you want. You're going to take an underhand grip on the bar, and you're going to bring your arms straight up to the wall. Can you keep your back flat on the wall, not overextend your chest, and get your arms up to the wall? If not, your lats are probably tight. You're going to have some issues with the lat tightness there. There is 3 different key ways which I like to lengthen muscles. First of all, we are going to try a few different techniques like foam rolling and using a massage gun to lengthen the muscle. Maybe get any knots out, get some blood flow to the area and get it nice and warm. When you're on a foam roller, what you want to be thinking about is getting right from the bottom of the muscle all the way to the top. Having a roll through the full range of the muscle. If you find some tight bit, you might want to do something we call pin and strip, where you stay over it and you do a little bit of rotation movements, a little bit of flexion of the arm, maybe a little bit of internal and external rotation of the shoulder, and that should really help get the blood flow, break down any kind of knotty tissue that you might have there. And the next thing we want to go on is lengthening the muscle. So we're going to actively lengthen the muscle. So a great technique for doing this for your lats is to grab the bar like we did for the wall with an underhand grip. We're going to come into like using a box jump or a step like I am here, and we're going to bring the head down, bring the arms back, and I'm almost trying to round my back a little bit, keeping my back round, not like sinking my chest right through, keeping my back round and pushing my arms down to the floor. And that's going to really get into them lats. You can also do, if you don't have any equipment with you, you can do a child's pose, which is also really good. So you want to reach your arms out as far as you can in front of you and sit your weight back, really getting a good stretch all the way through this muscle. If you want to intensify to that one side, bring that arm over to the side, and then you can sink your chest and your shoulders down towards the floor. And the last one we're going to talk about is eccentric lengthening. So this is doing eccentric reps, so the lowering phase of a rep. So if you're doing a pull-up, it's the bit where you come to the top and you're lowering down nice and steady. And that's what we're going to actually do when it comes to lengthening the lats here. So you're going to do a pull-up, hold at the top, and we're going to lengthen out really nice and slowly. Or another great exercise for this is doing a cable pull down. So if you get the cable, you pull that down in front of you, hold that there, and then you really slowly lengthen that out, keeping that back rounded, letting that pull up. It's going to really actively lengthen that lat throughout the range, and that is going to really help you when it comes to getting into that front rack position. We did talk about a few other muscles as well, including your triceps and that shoulder external rotator, so some of your rotator cuff muscles there as well. For your tricep, a really good lengthening one. It's nice and simple, arm behind the head, and try and pull that out to the side. Or you can even, like I say, get it on a foam roller and roll it out, give it a little bit of a pin and strip with a bend in your elbow, and they're going to be both useful tips for loosening off the tricep. The last one that we want to talk about is the external rotation. So for this, you want to grab a bar or a PVC pipe, thumb facing down, giving it a thumbs down. Bring it behind your back, hold behind, and then you just crank it a little bit. Give it that little bit of a pull. Driving my elbow forward and pulling that arm round, and that is going to really help that shoulder external rotation. So if we bring that into this position, you can see it's like that there, and it's the same position, externally rotating the shoulder when we're in that position there. So bringing that all together, we've got the shoulder flexion from improving the lats, We've got the elbow flexion from improving the triceps, and then we've got the external rotation from improving the rotator cuff around the shoulders. And as you can see, we should be able to sit as high as we are now with the bar sitting comfortably on top. When we sit down, we can drive, we can keep the elbows nice and high, and we can come back up, keeping that elbow position nice and high throughout the rep, helping your front rack position. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this did help your front rack. If you do have any friends that are particularly tight or they're struggling with their cleans, they might be struggling with their front squats, let them know, tag them in this video for more fitness, mobility tips and other content like this in the future. Make sure you follow or subscribe. And there is one last thing to say: stay obsessed.